Welcome to the Wilson County News. I'm Richard.
I'm John.
On our show for your entertainment today, we talk about the Teddy Bear Festival that happened last weekend.
That was fun time.
Yes, Lebanon Rodeo. I love the
That
chuck
was
wagons.
a great time.
The new Tennessee law restricts what kind of IDs you can use to vote.
About time.
Yeah. Two in MtJuliet were charged with theft. Renovations to the Pickett Chapel, that's the old church there on Market Street. Historic site of Fiddler's Grove is a big thing now with the state. And the Brook House needs some more diapers.
There you go. Well, look at the Secretary of State presents a grant to Wilson County Archives. That's $2,000 from the state to help preserve records, and they've got a lot of them down there. They really have a nice place down there.
And the state thinks that they are one of the best counties as far as having a good archive of all the records and stuff back through the years. I know that when my grandparents were in Smith County Courthouse had a fire years and years ago, decades ago, and so there's a gap in some of those records, and I couldn't quite trace everything back.
I had a hard time with it, huh?
But now, once every 10 years, they do send a copy of county records up to the State Archives building, which is next to the state capitol. So if you're really interested in looking through records, that's the place to go. They've got old newspaper articles that you look up and you didn't know shoes were that cheap. But back then, that was a lot of money.
Right, it sure was. That's exactly true.
Also, the Brook House still needs supplies. And they've extended the collection time. You can take and donate items at the Sheriff's Department between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m.
And I think that goes until the 8th of May. So that's pretty cool. And hey, you know what? Please go down there and donate to them, because those poor people are going to have to deal with some kind of a diaper situation, which is never really very good. They may be yanking their shirts off.
Well, now I've wore washable diapers.
I have too.
Years and years ago.
I have, but I didn't have to wash mine.
Yeah, that's the key. I guess that's the key to it. Yeah, my son's wore them a couple times.
Yes, absolutely.
Pickett's Chapel, which is on the corner of Market Street and North College, it's been listed as an historic place, especially right here in Lebanon. It's the oldest black church that was in Lebanon before all this was desegregated and all that. They're having more or less an opening ceremony because it's going to be a museum. The ceremony is going to be May 18th at 10 a.m. and they're going to have some master gardeners of Wilson County and volunteers that are doing landscaping.
And they even got a new roof.
Yes, they got a new roof on there now.
I saw when it was boarded up.
Oh, yeah. And I've looked at that roof for a while, and they had just changed it this week. So it's going to be nice. Yeah. They got one more wall they got to sure up. It's kind of bowing out a little bit. So,
well, we're going to get over there next week and get some shots, get some pictures and stuff, so you can all take a look at it. That'll be pretty cool, to do that.
Right.
So it won't be too bad at all. Hey, 2 charged in Clearview Estates break-in, and they were caught with the help of an anonymous citizen tip. With the assistance from Metro Nashville Police, MtJuliet Police detectives tracked down Christopher Bly, 39, and Keaton Gardner, 21, both of Nashville, and charged them both with 3 counts of aggravated burglary for crimes in Clearview Estates. They stole actually about $10,000 worth, and then they traveled to Mississippi and they were stealing and selling it. It's interesting. But officers tracked down the pair and caught up with them in Tunica, Mississippi, where they located the suspect's vehicle that matched the tipster's description, and the officers followed the suspects all the way back to Nashville. Isn't that pretty cool? And right to their home on Shauna Drive with help from Metro Nashville Police. The suspects were apprehended on the existing warrant from Coffee County.
Right.
They could almost make a movie out of this.
Yeah. What's the show that they have on now? I should have almost got away with it.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. So, it's awful interesting, though. I mean, that worked out really well, and believe it or not, there's a bigger part of that story that we're really not getting into because it is a story, and if you want to know more about it, I'd check it out in the Democrat.
Yes.
You know, that's for sure, because they're going to make a movie out of that one, I got a feeling. But anyway,
we'll be right back.
is Crook Auto Parts just another auto parts? No way! We rebuild starters and alternators. Auto technicians on site, the best parts men in Wilson County. And that means big savings for you. 444-9500, 444-9500. Spring a leak or plug drain, who do you call? Bill Smith Plumbing. That means real big savings and getting the job done professionally. Residential or commercial, save money. Call Bill Smith Plumbing, 818-5508. That's 818-5508.
Let's face it, the economy is terrible. Here's a chance to make an extra $1,400 a month. Who couldn't use that?
It's the movement. I'm a Lino Dr. I. It's the movement. I'm a Lino Dr. I. It's the movement. I'm a Lino Dr. I. I'm hot and I'm on fire. I'm a Lino Dr. I. I'm hot and I'm on fire. I'm a Lino Dr. I. I'm hot and I'm on fire. I'm a Lino Dr. I. I'm hot and I'm on fire. Rappers in my city, mad praying, wishing I retired. Cause it's the movement. I told y'all, Jonesy, Jancy.
City Cafe East is the best kept lunch secret in Nashville. If you're starving and want real home cooked food, this is the place. Folks, this is the best meat and three in Nashville. Chef George prepares mouth-watering specials every day. Choose from baked chicken, pork chops, turkey and dressing, and of course, the best roast beef anywhere. The City Cafe East, the best meat and three in town, is open Monday through Friday, 10 to 2:30 for your convenience. City Cafe East, 1455 Lebanon Pike at Spence Lane. The way cooking should be.
This week's most wanted here in Wilson County is Kimberly Annette Carter. She's 5 feet, 2 inches tall, 140 pounds. She was last seen on Park Avenue here in Lebanon. The warrant is for probation violation and criminal simulation.
Simulation. She's simulating that she's a criminal.
Okay, well that's what the report says on here. If you know where she's at, call 444-1412, extension 268. But if you've seen her, dial extension 0.
Yeah, she's gone.
She's gone.
She's gone.
Governor Haslam has signed in a new law aimed at prohibiting the use of different photo IDs for voting. This came about when the big ID law was passed. You know, they were talking about that last.
Oh, because of all the cheating.
Cheating, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Memphis set up all their public libraries to do photo IDs as a library member for those people that didn't have driver's license, and they took the state to court because they had already set all this up. The state said that they couldn't do that. They couldn't use that for voting. Well, this new law just completely overrides the judgment of the courts on that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't you go down to Washington, D.C., take your library card and go right into the White House and use that as your ID to walk in there. And I'll tell you right now, you won't go nowhere. And if it isn't good enough to get in there,
right,
why would they let anybody vote on it using it? I mean, you got so many illegals. It's everybody knows, people, don't they?
The dogs.
The dead people, the dogs. You know what? Cheaters are cheaters, and that's the way it is. So if you're turning around and against something like that, then you're nothing but a cheater, and you want people to cheat.
Well, what's the conservative versus the liberal votes? What percentage is that?
The liberals are about 24%, so you have to ask yourself, how does the liberals get over that 50% mark when they only have 24% of them in the United States? Because they're cheating. How do you think they're doing it? And that's how they want to take over and destroy this country, but it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, well, the only other problem they had was college ID cards.
Right.
Which they can be cheated on also. So.
I can make it in a minute. But anyway, we'll be back.
Mayor Philip Craighead. Sir, in your mind, was the rodeo a success this year?
It was a total success. In spite of the rain, 4 years, this is our 4th year for doing the rodeo, we have yet to have a perfect weekend. So we're going to start praying early for next year's. Next year's rodeo will be 4th weekend of April, April 25th and 26th. So we're going to start early on our praying. Maybe we'll have a beautiful weekend, and then no telling how many people we'll have show up. We were packed Friday night. Saturday night was still full. So we had a good weekend.
Well, now you had a special guest from Australia.
Yes, we had a couple came in. Let's see, Rob and Sam were the name from Australia. So I think that's the furthest attendee to the rodeo. Last year we had some people that were in from Europe and all. So it's good to have people from other countries drop in and visit.
Well, is there anything special that you're looking at?
Well, for sure we'll continue with the Special Needs Day. We had about 250 kids there, just having a great time, riding horses, touching the petting zoo, the animals there, and playing all the games. Then after that, we put on a small rodeo for them, where they got to see the the bull riding and steer wrestling and other things. So. Empower Me Day Camp, Michelle Hill, she helps us with that. She does a great job. And to me, the rodeo is great, but the morning's events for the special needs, that's what it's about.
Well, my parents adopted one special needs boy that's autistic, and they had tried to get him on a horse, and he wouldn't get on that one, so they brought over one of the Shetland ponies,
and
he was able to get on that one. But he's 6 foot tall, so he was still touching the floor.
Oh my goodness!
But one of my favorites was the wagons, the chuck wagon races.
Chuck wagons, that's the mainstay for our rodeo. We have about 4 races every night, and we haven't had one turn over at our rodeo, but they have had them turn over in some places and all, and they get moving fast and cutting each other off, and it's exciting.
It is.
It is.
Now, which is your favorite versus your wife's favorite?
Well, my wife, she likes the bareback riding and the saddle bronc, but I like the bull and the barrels. I like seeing the women doing the barrel racing, and I get going encouraging them, especially you can tell, even though it's 2 or 3 seconds difference, you can tell when one's moving faster than the others. And them bulls, them guys, they're just plain crazy. So, but it's great.
I'm curious as to how the women even stay on the horses, because those horses get down just like a motorcycle on the side.
It is. It's exciting. I really enjoyed the girls when they turn the barrels and they get that horse going. It just they're floating in the air. It's amazing. So.
And the calf roping, that seems to be one of the hardest things to do. If that calf just will not cooperate.
Yeah, I tell you, I think Preston folks with Lone Star, they're the ones that bring all the animals and all, and I think they got a higher level intelligence of the calves, because they know how to get to fool that cowboy. They'll stop dead or they'll turn, and they seem to have it figured out.
Sweetheart. Frankie, welcome to the rodeo. You planning on having a bunch of fun? Yeah! All right, that's what I like. Everybody give a hand. Sure, Frankie's everywhere.
going to be the first man. Look at him. It's a wrestling match now. You got to get his feet out there, grab a nose lane. Oh, look here, Lebanon. The paint horse going to bow for you. As we do what we call the Spanish March. As she makes it a little easier for Shane to get on her back. Looks like he's got himself some assistance this morning. He has got out one of the working cowboy tools. That is a bullwhip. History of a bullwhip. You want to think Indiana Jones? Well, that's not quite all of it. He is not the only one to use one. Down under, where they come from in Australia, they use them also. How about a little love for Shane Carson this morning? Well, as he gets the tail ends warmed up, looky there. How about that? That is fancy as they come. Look here. Gonna cut a target right out of his own hand. Now, this is where the trust ensues. She's gonna hold him up. He is gonna cut him right out of her hands. Within inches. How about it again? She moves them in and out, up and down, and there they go one more time. Shane Carson, the man. Now they're going to do a little something different. As he's going to pay off his lovely helper this evening. Oh, how about it? Knows how to treat a lady, don't he? There it goes. Wow. As we fly the spinning wheel around, he's going to trim her down just to the size we need. Precision work. Look here. How about that for you, man? We are going outside. Oh, he's in trouble. Down and out. Get out of Dodge. Oh, man. Little fancy footwork from Mark Weber. Look out.
We're out here at the Children's Rodeo at the Ag Center in Lebanon, the fairgrounds, and it's in the Wilson County area. Y'all, if you're anywhere in the Highland Rim area to see this, remember the rodeo in Lebanon, Tennessee.
Hey, this is Wolfie, and I bet you can't guess what time it is. Yep,
It's time for the Cold Creek Entertainment Report for the Wilson County News. And I'm awfully glad to be here. We've had a lot of fun this past week in Lebanon. I sure hope you got out for the festivities at the fairgrounds last week, located on Bad Door Parkway. We even had Channel 4 News out there, and the sheriff of country ham to boot. The whip cracking rodeo was what was going on, and baby, it was a big hit. There's roping calves, there's wrestling steers. They had clowns like me. They was out there to protect them cowboys and cowgirls from them bucking steers and broncos that they had. And I mean, they had cowboys and cowgirls galore. And an electric bull. The kids was making crafts and winning prizes. We had chuck wagon races out there, and processions of horses and riders, and trick riding ladies, lasso twirlers, expert gun shooting, not only by the adult cowboys but by the kids and the gals too. They had a best dressed contest out there for them young'uns, and they had some real cow kids out there, I'm a-telling you. The Teddy Bear Music Festival went off without a hitch, with the like of Dottie Snowtub, Razzie Bailey, and there's more RVs and campers out there than I could count. There's plenty of teddy bears too. Want to thank you all for bringing them out there. And that was all for the benefit of the Monroe Carroll Jr. Children's Hospital, located at Vanderbilt Hospital University in Nashville, Tennessee. Now, you know, George Jones passed last week, and it crushed the hearts of all of us. The ceremonies was held at the Grand Ole Opry House in Nashville, Tennessee. They was there for 2.5 hours. There was tributes and epitaphs with gospel music and the likes of Vince Gill, Randy Travis, Patty Loveless, Winona, Charlie Daniels, and there's all reflecting on this star of stars. Everybody had some beautiful words and memories to share. And many tears were shed right there. My hat's off and my cup is held high for George Jones. He lived a fabulous life. He was a human being of human beings. And the occupational hazards just went to set that he was a man just like most men. Now, I want y'all not to forget that you've got locals down here in Lebanon and Wilson County, such as Smitty's on 4 Mile Hill. You got Jimmy's Sports Bar down there where they've got entertainment every Friday night. You've got the Cumberland University Grill, and you can kick back and get laid back there, because every once in a while they'll run some jazz shows down there. Now, Wolfie wants to tell you about Wolfie's Cyber Lounge. You can find that at wclt.biz on the internet. Wolfie's got a brand new album out, and you can find it on myspace.com/Wolfie's Cyber Lounge.